If you want to study in Canada, or you're already here on a study permit, you need to watch this video. It might not be a pretty video, but these are things that you need to know. First of all, some hard facts. Up to 60% of international students in Canada are struggling to get PR. You heard that right. Canada welcomes international students with open arms every year. But when it comes to get their PR and stay permanently, it's a completely different story sometimes. But there are always two sides to a story, and there are two sides to this particular story. And I want to tell you both sides of the story. In fact, in this video, I am going to play the devil's advocate. Whether anyone agrees or not, Canada's international student visa is one of the best in the world. It allows you to study, work part-time, and even apply for work permit after graduation. It sounds like a dream, right? But then there's another problem. Here's the problem. Many students don't know the full picture. They come in thinking that 1 year of study is enough to get PR. But reality hits hard when their 1 year PGWP seems to slip away fast before they can apply for PR. This week alone, I've talked to like 5 people in this situation, and about 400,000 more international students are in that boat. So it's not pretty. It's not. And I would be insensitive not to admit that this is an ongoing situation. Okay? So today I want us to talk about the ugly truth about studying in Canada and why it seems as if international students are just cash cows for the Canadian economy. This is a very unpopular conversation, but it's a conversation that we need to have. So we are having it right now. I'm not saying don't come to Canada to study. By all means do, because that might just be the most viable route to Canada for you. But I want you to get a good grasp of what you might be coming to face when you come to study in Canada. So let's talk about the challenges facing international students in Canada. The first one is the PR bottleneck. That's the permanent residency bottleneck. The number of international students has been growing rapidly over the years, until about a year ago or so when a cap was put on the number of international students. However, the number of PR spots, especially those that are available to international students, remains limited. Many students who come to complete a 1-year program are usually shocked to find that their 1-year post-graduation work permit isn't enough to qualify for PR, most times, not in all cases. Even the PR point system seems to be against international students. Express entry, which is Canada's main PR system, is becoming harder to qualify for. The points needed to get invited are rising, and most international students don't have enough points because they lack Canadian work experience or they don't have enough skilled job offers. And this also flows from not having enough time to gain that Canadian work experience that is needed to qualify for the Canadian experience class. Secondly, is the proof of funds increase. We all know how Canada raised the required proof of funds for international students by almost 100%, making it even harder for students from countries like maybe Nigeria or Ghana, for example, to afford studying here. Then for those who manage to get the money to come, the PR bottleneck is another hurdle that they need to overcome. It almost feels like Canada wants your money, but then it's looking like they don't necessarily want you to stay in Canada permanently. Number 3 is work limitations and rising costs. Tuition fees are extremely high for international students, sometimes up to triple what domestic students pay. Despite the recent extension of off-campus work hours to 24 hours per week off-campus, many still struggle with the cost of living, especially those in big cities like Toronto and Vancouver. Then there is separation from family. Student spouses are now facing even more difficulties in getting their open work permits. We all know now that except you are studying at the master's or PhD or any of the specialized programs, your spouse would not be eligible for the spousal open work permit. Guys, have you thought of how this could lead to family separation and potential marriage breakdowns? Many couples who planned to move together are now stuck in limbo. Even if you say the children are not affected, how can one spouse cope with studies and the kids? It's hard. Just one spouse, especially if they have small children. It's very hard. So families have to live apart for years. Spouse in Nigeria, and the other one in Canada. Children, some here in Nigeria, some in Canada, just like that. Different kinds of family separation is happening now for international students. And sadly, also for foreign workers. It's hard. I met a lady the other day. Her name is Blessing from Nigeria. She came to Canada for a 1-year study program, hoping to transition to PR. But with only 1 year of work permit eligibility and high CRS score requirements, she's finding herself in a tough spot. Her husband was unable to join her due to all this buhaha. And the long distance strain of all of this is putting so much pressure on her marriage that her marriage is almost on the brink of breaking down. She was weeping profusely and asking me if she should just pack her bags and go back home so that she can at least have some peace of mind. I was just looking at her. I had to cry with her because I don't have the answers. You know, I said I'm playing the devil's advocate with this video, right? So that brings me to this next step. Is Canada really to blame for all of this? And I will start this off by telling you about Faith, another lady that I met here in Canada. She planned her move more strategically. She opted for a 2-year program in one of the provinces up north, not Ontario, not BC. After she graduated, she gained relevant work experience and she was able to qualify for PR through a provincial nominee program. Her journey wasn't easy by no means, but she navigated the system successfully. So how come she did it and Blessing is struggling? Different people have different stories. If Canada was a person and I asked Canada, why are you using international students as cash cows? And when it comes to PR, you are saying a different thing. I assume Canada will respond by saying, Sheyi, number one, PR was never guaranteed to international students. The study permit is designed for education, not for guaranteed permanent residence. And as a country, we have the right to change our immigration policies based on our economic needs. Yeah, makes sense. And if Canada tells me this, I will ask her back. So, what's in it for international students then? I assume that she might say something like, look, Sheyi, I agree that international students contribute billions of dollars to the Canadian economy, but they also receive benefits like healthcare in some provinces, world-class education, and I give them work permit after they graduate. I give them the opportunity to gain Canadian work experience after study. And if they have enough work experience and they qualify, they of course can apply for permanent residency. And that is why alternative routes to PR exist that favor international students. Some provinces offer easier PR pathways for students that study in in-demand programs. Underlined, in-demand programs. Especially in less popular provinces. The issue is not that it is impossible, but it requires careful and strategic planning. So what Canada is saying is that Canada does not hate international students. In fact, it's the opposite. Yes, Canada benefits financially from international students, and even though PR is looking like it's becoming harder to obtain, it is still possible. You need to do a few things though. If you are planning to study in Canada, you need to be strategic. You need to be strategic. I know why I said that twice. So I'm going to give you a strategy that you can use. Here are some practical steps that I think will increase your chances of getting PR. 1, choose a 2-year program. A longer study program means a 3-year PGWP, which gives you more time to get work experience and qualify for PR. Even if you come on a 1-year program, look for another 1-year program within your DLI. That way you don't have to apply for a new study permit. 2, go for a program in a high in-demand field. Fields like healthcare, tech, and skilled trades have a higher chance of leading to permanent job offers and, in turn, permanent residency. Please avoid programs that won't lead to jobs. I know this does not fit many people because you may not even qualify for those programs, but if you do a one-year program that you qualify for, you can use that opportunity to do an in-demand program here in Canada in your second year and just extend your study permit. Number 3, apply for PR as soon as possible. Don't wait. As soon as you qualify under a provincial or a federal program, apply immediately. You can even get PR as a student if you have an express entry profile. Wisdom is there. The most important thing, apply ASAP. Consider studying in a province that supports easier transition to PR. Some provinces have easier pathways for international students. For example, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and the Atlantic region. They have PNP programs that don't require high CRS scores. Some people, after graduating in Ontario, they move to provinces like New Brunswick to get PR. That might be a word for somebody, if you catch it. And 5, if you can, consider other countries. I know you didn't know I would say that, Abby. Some people are now looking to other countries like Germany, Finland, or Australia, etc. I don't know anything about their PR program, and I don't know if it's easier than Canada. So do your due diligence. Don't say Shea or Basida said you should go and try Finland or Germany. Do your due diligence and do your research very well. After all has been said and done, at this point, the big question is it still worth it to come and study in Canada? If you're prepared, you have enough funds, and you choose the right program, yes, it can still be worth it. But if you think that this is an automatic PR ticket, it is not though. You need to qualify for PR, and only those who plan smartly will succeed. So choose the right study program. If possible, study for up to 18 months before applying for PGWP. Choose the right province. Maybe work in in-demand jobs and choose the right pathway to PR. Possibly a provincial nominee program for international students in your own province. And I believe that your story will be different. And if you have to come to Canada without your spouse, be sure that you both have an understanding. You don't want to be under unnecessary pressure only just for a few months into your study. You won't be able to cope. You won't be able to concentrate. I'm telling you, you won't be. I always tell people that the time will pass, and sometimes it passes fast, but they will not hear. What do I know? There's truth to both sides of this debate. International students have a case, but Canada also has a case. We just need to find a middle ground that works for everybody. If you would like step-by-step guide to move to Canada on a study visa, check out my step-by-step Study in Canada guide right here. You can also book a consultation so that we can talk about planning your move to Canada very soon. The link is also here and also in the description. Go ahead and check out the other videos on my channel, and I will see you in the next one.